You splashed a little there.
Yeah, I spilled on myself. Oh, well.
Here we go. We're back. If you are looking at us, you'll realize something is different.
We have Santa hats on.
Right, and Dan's
Only
not
difference.
here.
Oh.
And there's 2 of us and not 3 of us. A little bit of a difference.
That viewers catch it.
But if you were listening, you never
catch
would have figured that
You
out.
guys didn't catch it. I'm very upset.
So-
if you're listening, I threw my can at you.
After this week, Dan has decided to just quit soccer altogether. He's going to stop watching. He's not following any teams anymore. He's given up.
He's super sad.
That's not true, but
Yeah.
you'll get Dan's
he'll
words
be
later
here
on.
at some point. Yeah.
At least in spirit.
Yeah. I mean, he's not here right now, but hopefully he's back next week. And he did send some things in that he would like to be mentioned on the show. We'll get to that.
He sends his thoughts.
Yeah.
So we're in.
Want to jump into it?
Yeah. We're
Okay.
match week 14? Match day 14. I still don't understand the match day.
It's match week, right?
But it's not. On
It's
here,
match-
it's match day. And I think this is wrong. But this is Google, so it's match day.
Oh, yeah.
Match day 14.
Whatever. All right. Let's start off with just an ass whooping.
Have you ever seen the meme where it's like the Hulk is like smashing Loki back and forth from the Avengers? Yeah, that was pretty much this game.
Yeah.
To a T.
And Liverpool was
Was the Hulk. Right, 100%.
so this game at Crystal Palace finished 7-0, and for our American listeners, they got a touchdown and made the extra point. It was brutal.
And for all of you English listeners that stopped listening after that,
Sorry. Welcome
Sorry.
back.
So this game was just, I know home field advantage plays a big part this year. You could tell from the Palace result that they scored 0 and lost by 7.
Yeah. And you knew it was, gonna be bad 3 minutes in. Minamino gets his first goal. I think that's of his career, right? In the Premier League.
Premier League. First goal.
Good finish. Had a little bit of time.
Took a little touch, bounced over.
Yeah. I
Finished
mean,
well.
And then from there, you kind of just figured this game was just not going to end well.
A third-minute goal is never good if you're the team that lets it in.
No.
That's just a blanket statement for all of soccer.
Yeah.
But there was a gap where, it was only a 1-0 game. Maybe Palace can work themselves, back into this.
That gap lasted for 30 minutes.
Right, and then after that, it was
Yeah.
Mane scores. Which one was the Mane goal? On this game, it was so hard to keep track of what goal was what.
I don't know. I think it was just... Oh, he kind of chopped at it on a weird touch. He was kind of leaning back and just kind of hit it low and hard into the side net. I think in the corner. I believe that was this one. Right?
Let's find out.
I believe so.
Let me go back into my thesaurus of all the goals from this game.
Thesaurus?
I don't know. It sounded good.
I believe that's what it was. He kind of chops back. Yeah. Yeah, see? Low and hard, bottom left corner.
Okay.
That's when it finished.
Well done.
Because, I mean, exactly. It's tough to remember all the goals, especially when I think 2 of these goals were just beautiful goals. One of them being the first Firmino goal. Robertson gets the ball on the left side.
That was more about the pass and the
puts
touch.
In one of the most beautiful crosses. Just drops it on Firmino's foot, brings it down, and he literally outside of the foot, all he has to do is just pass it into the corner. He's wide open, nobody near him. But, again, Robertson just shows why he's
one of the best left backs in the world.
I mean, and we'll talk about it again.
People have argued that he's the best left back in the world, which he's definitely up there. But there's a couple, you still have Davies and other players.
I think because he's so pronounced going forward.
Yeah,
that's why. I mean, you see a lot of very good left backs who get a forward occasionally, and when they do, maybe they don't get they swing across, they don't get the assists. But his stats reflect how good he is going forward.
Right. And it's one of those,
see that a lot of left backs.
It's one of those things where a lot of people are like, "Oh, the 2 best backs in the world are Robertson and Arnold." But then it's like, yes, they're very, very good, but it also helps that Liverpool has incredible talent to support them. It's not like I think if you put Robertson on West Brom, he's a little less effective.
Yeah.
So
his defensive stats are more prominent than his offensive stats.
So, I mean, obviously they're great players. Don't get me wrong; they're in the conversation for best backs anytime. But it does help the system that they're in here.
And while we're talking about Robertson and Trent also gets an assist in this game.
True.
Second half.
How about that segue?
Yeah, he gets the ball. We're so good at this. On the right side, top of the box, kind of plays it. 20 out, 25 out,
and probably 15.
Yeah, and then Henderson just runs onto it, inside of the foot, bending away from the keeper.
Yeah, that was a beautiful
top left corner. I mean, that was just one of, like I said, there's a few really good goals in this game, and that was just another one of them. And then again, Firmino gets his second. The ball gets played through. He gets the ball in a weird angle.
Yeah.
You see the keeper's right. I'm trying to remember who's their goalie by name. Gutier? Is that it? No. How do you say that name?
Gutier? What?
That's not Gutier. How do you say that name?
It's not Gutier. Isn't that the guy that sang, what song was that? Somebody I used to know? No.
That's Gautier.
Gautier. It was close.
That's Gautier.
Gautier.
I don't know how you say his name. What is it?
Oh, it's like Gaeta. Something like that.
Shit, I wasn't even close. Sorry, guys.
That's not 100% right
sure.
either, but it's closer than what you said.
So the Palace keeper.
Right.
Yeah.
It's always the same.
He comes out, and there's really no angle for Firmino to shoot besides chipping him because he goes down hands first to the ball. He does the right thing, but at the wrong time. So if that touch was further from Firmino, that's when you go at his feet, hands to the ball. You take it off his foot. But the ball was pretty much stuck on his foot, so that's when you come out and make yourself big. He does that. It doesn't go in. Unfortunately, he makes the wrong decision. But good on Firmino. He had no angle. He had to chip it up over him, and he gets a second of the game.
That's one of those where, like, I'm not a goalkeeper, so don't go. Like, it just seems like when you see the replay that the angle of where Firmino is when he takes that shot, it's like, it almost seems like there's no other way. Like, if he takes a normal shot there, if the goalie stays, there's just no angle.
Exactly.
But because he comes out, he gives them the option to chip, and that's how they score that.
Like I said, I understand why he comes out because he thinks he's going to get there.
And he just doesn't.
Firmino gets to the ball so quick that now he's kind of stuck in no man's land, so he's already committed to going down. If he kind of read it earlier that he wasn't going to get there, he could stay up. I know a lot of keepers drop to a knee in that situation.
Yeah.
And if he does, even if he chips, even easier chance of getting it than when you're laying on the ground. But again, you can't take any credit away from Firmino. It's a good finish. It's the only way he could have scored.
And now to number 6.
Was that 6? Oh, God.
It's 6.
Yeah. Oh, this is the one.
It's the header.
Yeah, it's a header comes in.
Little double doink.
Yeah, I'm not sure who the first header is, but then
It's Matip, I think.
Yeah, it's Matip. Finds Salah, who's only on the field for how long at this point?
By I think it's like a couple minutes.
Oh, no, he came on. No, I'm sorry. He came on the 57th.
No. Oh.
But he gets 2 goals in a couple.
Oh, yeah, we were close.
Yeah, so it's a header from Matip. But he's just kind of there, and he kind of redirects.
It's kind of like it hits
header.
him, but he also does a good job of hitting it in the right direction.
Yeah.
Put it that way.
And then the last goal.
Was a
They gave Salah way too much time and space.
Beaut.
He just bends one in the top corner, again, from like 20 out.
That's pretty.
I mean, again, nothing the goalie could do. Like I said, this is the Liverpool that we haven't seen enough of this year, I think.
Yeah, and I think we also have to give credit to the one thing that we're kind of overlooking every week is that Fabinho's playing center back for them, and that's clearly not his natural position.
Yeah.
And obviously he's doing pretty well defensively.
Yeah. It does help when you have Henderson in front of him.
Well, right.
Who's a very good box-to-box midfielder. He is pretty defensive-minded. And then you have, like we said, 2 of the best outside backs and fullbacks. You know what? Screw you, TikTok. In the world.
Still get comments, by the way. That video got posted like a month ago, and I'm still getting outside back.
Yeah, well,
Shut up.
Some guy told me to take off my United jersey because I said Lampard was a good manager. Anyway. But yeah, I mean, you can't overlook that. I mean, again, it helps when you have those players in front of you and to your left and right. But this is the Liverpool I feel like that we saw, that we come to know in the past, few years where they just kind of like been on a roll and just dominating. And again, this is a game you expect them to win, but you don't
not by 7.
Expect it. Yeah, and Palace hasn't been an awful team.
No, they've been
either.
pretty good. They've been streaky, but they've been good.
So for Palace to come in at home, to come into this one. And yeah, maybe they knew this would be a tough game. They didn't expect to win it.
I don't think they expect to lose by 7.
Yeah. So I mean, and I'm curious going forward. They said they've been streaky. If this starts a bad streak for them, or if they can kind of get this out of their minds and bounce back. But again, it's tough to bounce back after 7. Moving on.
Surely, I think South City, right? Is that next?
Yeah, I got the South City game. So move on. Manchester City take a 1-0 win at Southampton. Garrett.
I mean, this was a good game. Team. I mean, this was we've talked about how good Southampton's been this year, and they're not going to be a walk in the park for any team that has to go against them.
Especially at home.
City does have chances. They have a couple chances early. Interesting in this game, we don't have Jesus, which is pretty much at this point we're on our 3rd choice striker.
I mean, but can you really blame Pep at that point?
But he
hasn't been doing that well.
No, he hasn't been doing well. I don't think he was even healthy. I think he was either injured or just didn't make the squad.
Gotcha.
So you're starting with your third string, which is Torres, which signed in the summer. So it's not like it's a bad signing, but I mean, he's not. I don't think he's up to the level of Jesus or Aguero at this point. So you think goals are gonna be hard to come by, but we had chances in the beginning. We can't finish this year. Like
You really can't.
We can't. I mean, City's won usually with. I think they said through the last 2 seasons they had like at this point like 30-something goals. I think they're at like 18. So like they're way off pace from where they usually are. Wow. And it's just finishing. It's like they're creating chances. It's just a lack of finishing this year.
Yeah, like I said, I think, watching this game, like I said, they had a majority of the possession. They had a majority of the chances. But, when you don't have that, when you don't have a healthy Aguero who's ready to go and ready to start, that hurts. Because he is a natural-born finisher.
Right.
He gets the ball in, spots where, okay, nothing's going to happen here, and he makes something happen. But then he also gets the ball in spots where you expect him to score, and he does.
Right.
And that's what you're missing. That's with...
I mean, I can't tell you how many times De Bruyne has played a through ball to Sterling, to Mahrez, to not really Bernardo. He hasn't played that much this year, but to those outside wingers, and it's just 1-on-1 with the goalkeeper to the keeper, misses wide. People keep saying De Bruyne is not having a great year, and don't get me wrong, he hasn't played perfect, but he could probably have 13 assists if people could finish 1-on-1s or wide open headers this year. There was 2 alone in the Tottenham game, so I mean, they're not bad. They're definitely not the prolific team that they've been the past couple of years. Something's obviously missing. I think you said Aguero is a big part of that.
But speaking of De Bruyne and getting assist, he does get one in this game.
Yeah, a beautiful.
Yeah, he gets
pass.
the ball on the right side.
Great move down the right side.
Yeah, great move. He gets the ball on the right side. He swings in a great ball, and like you said, Sterling has been doing this. He
finally
finishes one touch. Was it half volley, sort of?
It was like a bouncing cross.
Yeah, it was a bouncing cross, comes in.
It's like a cutback, bouncing cutback to him.
It's
my freaking pom-pom from my
Santa
Claus hat's like popping me in the head over here.
He puts it, and sometimes in a situation you see the player shoots back across where the ball came from. He doesn't. He goes with the ball. He goes far post. Body. I think what helps is McCarthy can't see it right away. He does have a defender right in front of him, which kind of throws him off a bit, but either way, I think this ball goes in. I don't think anyone's saving that unless you're...
It's a one-time shot.
Unless you're diving before he kicks that ball, you're not making that save. But again, if he could start doing that, if Sterling could start, like you said, finishing those open headers or these one-time shots or receiving these through balls and taking on the keeper one-on-one and putting the ball in the net, I mean, City get back to that prolific
City could probably score
team.
3 other goals a game if that's
and 2, De Bruyne, like you said, people are like, oh shit, he actually is having another great year. Now he's getting the stats to show it.
Yeah. It's just, I don't know how I feel.
Punch the tape.
That was really good. I heard that. I don't know what else you can do. I just don't like the Rodri Gundogan pivot.
Any reason why?
It's so defensive from a team that is struggling to score. Like, are you just trying to make up for the fact that in past years your defense hasn't been great, so you're just like, let's just load it? Because they're both more defensive. Like, Gundogan goes up more than Rodri does. But I feel like you need a little bit more. Like, you can't... Obviously, we can't rely on our wingers and forwards to score, so we're going to have to build up from the middle. And you're keeping 2 deep mids. It's just... I don't know. I don't like it as much. I think it's kind of conservative, in my opinion.
So, another thing you mentioned about the lineup, and we mentioned him last week, 2 weeks ago, on our underperforming players, Silva gets a start. And you mentioned he hasn't played much. Going against a team like Southampton, who have been playing well and are a pretty solid team this year, when you saw the starting 11, were you okay with that? Like, what'd you think? I'm curious. I saw it and I was like, interesting time to start him.
Well,
but
it's just, I don't understand. Like, I get the rotate thing, but I don't at the same time. Speaking of rotating, this is the first week with extra subs because of that rule that they added.
Oh yeah.
Fun fact. I get. Obviously, he needs a chance, but if you're gonna put him in a game to start a game, I don't know why Southampton's the team you decide to do it against. I mean, they've been as good as anyone this year, and he's played poorly every time he's been on the field.
I feel like you'd expect him to start against the struggling team.
Yeah.
A team bottom of the table, kind of like Arsenal. Dan's not here. It's not as funny. Who's
still funny.
Who's struggling to defend. So maybe he goes out there, he has a good performance, and maybe his confidence gets.
He just seems frustrated when he's on the field.
Exactly. So why not start him against a team who's struggling to defend and who's not playing as well as Southampton? You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean,
so
it's so crazy because we get the result, but it's like like, you don't play Mahrez, who's one of our most attacking players that we have. Like, I get you want to give players like a rest, but this is an important game. I mean, Southampton's ahead of us in the table right now. Like, this is an important game to win, and like, you don't play Mahrez, you don't play Foden, who are right now arguably two of the better chance creators on the team, and instead you're playing Bernardo, who's been less than stellar. And I mean, you have to play Sterling again. Torres is like a third choice striker, but you're limited there. But and Aguero doesn't see the field. It's just a weird, like, if Aguero's not healthy, why is he there at this point? Like, you're just taking up a spot on the bench for somebody else.
Oh, it's like you mentioned, you're playing Southampton, a team ahead of you, a game you need to win. At the very least, they do that. It may.
We get a shutout. Our defense played well.
Yeah, it may not have been the prettiest game from an attacking standpoint because you did miss chances, but again, defense played well. Get the win. Morales is in goal. Who's that?
It's Ederson. That's his last name.
Oh God! I was like, wait, what is that? But yeah, I mean, it's a game that City needed.
Right.
To help catch up.
I mean, it's a great win. I mean, I'm not mad about it. I just think it's a couple of interesting choices before the game even happened.
Well, you say so. Well, yeah, next.
Dan quitting.
Oh, Dan quits. Yeah, so guys, we mentioned this before. Dan quit the show after a Arsenal 2-1 loss.
He didn't really quit, by the way.
He quit for this episode.
Correct.
He'll be back next week. So yeah, should we read what Dan said first? I haven't read it yet.
Sure. So this is gonna be read live.
I haven't read this yet. Garrett has
for the first time.
So,
Dan was like, guys, I can't make it this week because I quit everything. But can you guys just please read these thoughts so all of the people out there waiting for my reaction can hear it.
I'm gonna read them. I haven't read them yet.
Sure.
Here we go. Can you just tell the pod? That's you guys. That I don't know how much longer I could be an Arsenal fan. I can't do it anymore. What did I do to deserve this? If I wanted to watch the type of soccer that I've been playing, I'd go watch the local Sunday league. I'm watching grown men making millions of dollars pass the ball with absolutely no intent or purpose for 90 minutes. This is my weekly rant.
Well said, Dan. Well said.
Dude, the Sunday league thing killed me. Oh, God.
I like the passing the ball with no meaning or purpose. Was a very good way to put that.
Yeah, so after that, let's get into the game here. Right off the bat, watching about 22 minutes in, Arsenal get another own goal.
Yeah. I mean,
it's tough.
Wait, hold on. Before the game, but like you also lose Aubameyang like a day or like the hours before this game.
Oh, yeah, he got hurt.
Because he had like a muscle strain, which is like, I get he's not playing well, but like you still want him out there. I mean,
anyway, so ball gets swung in the box. Calvert-Lewin, it kind of deflects off him, barely. And then
skims his head.
It just hits Rob Holding.
A very glancing header.
And there's nothing he could do about it.
Yeah, Holding's in a bad spot. I mean, he's running back, facing the goal. There's nothing you can really do there.
But if this isn't the most Arsenal first half I've ever seen.
Oh, yeah, I know.
So, 15 minutes later, about 15 minutes later, Everton gets a penalty kick. Pretty blatant penalty. Kind of barrels him over.
Oh, yeah. It was.
Yeah, take a minute to.
Yeah. I was looking at the next Mina goal. I was like, what the hell are you talking about? It was a corner kick.
No.
But I know what we're talking about now.
Yeah.
So Arsenal get, they get a pen. Pretty much the only way they can score this year.
Yeah, Garrett put in our fantasy soccer group chat. I bet Pepe misses this. And then 2 minutes later, disregard previous Pepe message.
Yeah, he didn't miss.
Because he scores. Pretty good penalty. He sends the keeper the wrong way. He shoots to his left. Goalie dives to shooter's right. But then you're thinking, okay, like Dan normally thinks at this point in the game, I'm pretending I'm Dan. You're thinking, okay, we're getting going now. We got our goal. We're starting to play into the game.
I don't know. I think if you're an Arsenal fan, you're thinking we might lose this 5-1 at this point.
Yeah, good point. But Arsenal doing what Arsenal do, right the seconds before halftime.
To pull away all hope, really.
The seconds before halftime they concede. Set piece, Sigurdsson plays in a corner.
Near post run.
Near post run from Mina. Nobody picks him up.
When Mina jumps for this ball, there is no one within like a foot, like his height. He got so high and he caught this ball at the peak of his jump. It was a great header.
Yeah, beautiful header.
But Leno was lost.
Yeah, Leno, as soon as even before Sigurdsson makes contact with this ball, Leno's already kind of near his top of the six. Which, if you're taking the corner, you're thinking, all right, I'm putting this near post, definitely, because no way he recovers. He doesn't. He gets a piece of it. Too late. He's trying to backtrack.
And he's diving backwards toward his.
So even
net.
if you can hold that or try and push it up and over the bar, one, you're going to hit the crossbar, it's going to go in. You hold it, you're bringing the ball in the net. Or if you just, your last option is to just bat it forward, and it's going to drop right in the goal line, and good chance someone's going to poke that in. But didn't matter. Mina beat him to it, beat everybody to it. Jumped, 15 feet in the air?
Oh, it was so high.
Yeah.
My God.
And Arsenal get all hope and life sucked out of them right before the break.
And and the sad part is they didn't even play bad. Like, they kept decent possession. They've had spells of creativity. They have, they look like they can almost be a functional team at times, and they just refuse to get any type of result. Like,
they're missing, like I know we've mentioned before, but Aubameyang not playing. Yes, he hasn't been in the best of form, but that's your go-to guy.
Right. I mean,
you need him. So you're missing him in this game. And again, I know Dan's touched on this before, but you're missing that one solid De Bruyne, Bruno, that creative midfielder that you desperately need.
At this point, I don't think it's a question that he comes in January. I don't see how you can justify it at this point to leave him out again.
Oh, well, he's going to be gone.
Well, he can get added in January to the roster again because he didn't make the Premier League roster back when they first announced it.
If he stays.
If he stays, which is a big if. But then again, no one else is going to pay him that amount of money. So,
it's gonna show if he wants the money, he'll stay, and maybe he gets his time. If he wants to just play, then he's out.
There was a poll today on I think it was Fox Soccer, and they said, do you think an Ozil playing would improve this Arsenal team? And I think 78% of people said yes.
Well, anything can improve this Arsenal team at this point.
I think that's what it is. At this point, people are almost like, you know what? How much worse could it really get? People have dogged him on his effort and his he didn't show up to every game. I mean, are we going to pretend that the rest of this team has shown up to every game? Like, what?
You know what?
He's still world class. Like, he still has the creative mind. And at this point,
well, we think he does.
You're not going to get a transfer at this point that's going to come in and change this team. And there's no shot.
No.
So give him a chance. Just give him a run. Like, what's the worst that could happen?
Yeah.
If for Arteta, the worst thing that could happen is he plays well and you look dumb for leaving him out in the beginning. I mean, that's...
Speaking of Arteta looking dumb, another great segue here.
Oh, God.
Have you seen what he's been saying in post-match interviews and stuff? He had one the other day.
Not.
He had one the other day. I'm not going to read the whole thing, but he's
a real quote before we read this.
Swear to God. It was ESPN FC tweeted this. His quote. It's last year. You know what? Fuck it. I'll read it. Last year, again, we won against Everton with a 25% chance of winning. You win 3-2. Last weekend, it was 67% chance of winning any Premier League game in history, and a 9% chance of losing, and you lose. 3% chance against Burnley, and you lose. 7% against Spurs, and you lose. What the hell does that mean? What is he getting on that? This was after last week's game, right? And then
honest to God, I have no idea what that's supposed to mean.
Then he goes, football is not like basketball. This one actually makes sense.
That's true.
In basketball, you shoot 50 times, and the opponent does it once. You win every game.
True.
It doesn't work that way in football. You can do the opposite way around, and you can still lose 1-0.
Yeah, but it makes sense. I mean, that's like saying City wins the chances in numbers in mostly every game they play. Doesn't mean they get every result. Like, that one makes sense.
Yeah.
But the dude pulling out the numbers that
stats.
Stephen Hawking couldn't understand is not really a valid argument.
I think he
is
losing his mind.
I think Arsenal can do that to somebody, but
he doesn't know what to do anymore.
Let's get off Arsenal for a little while.
Yeah, Dan's not here. He's going to listen to this and get mad at us. Probably.
These were 3 great games, though, to start the day. I mean, you got a 7-0 thrashing. City Southampton, which is a good matchup. Everton Arsenal is always a great matchup. And then the quality for the next couple games kind of, let's say, lacked a little bit.
Not for a lack of entertainment, though, in the
Fulham
Newcastle game.
This is controversy and everything.
Yeah, so we get on the Fulham-Newcastle game. This game ends 1-1. Nothing really going on.
The stupid freaking pom-pom keeps freaking falling.
Oh, God, here we go. Nothing really going on in this game. Then a set piece gets floated in the box. Fulham Newcastle go to defend it. It gets headed down by Fulham. Then deflects off a Newcastle defender. Hits Matt Ritchie in the face and goes to his own goal.
That's just so
unfortunate.
And then
he just sits there like, what do I do? I mean,
it's just so bad. Like you said, there's nothing you do. The ball hits 2 people, bounces up, smacks you in the face, and then goes in your own net.
Yeah.
If getting hit in the face wasn't enough, it goes in. It's pretty bad.
But then we move on to the 62nd minute. Again, not much happened in this game. Pretty back and forth.
The fact that this ends like in a tie is like a game where like I could see this ending in a tie, like how both teams have been playing this year.
Yeah, you can see
it just made too much sense not to.
But what happens is I can't.
And the position was 49-51, by the way,
Yeah,
and the chances
so
were almost identical.
pretty even game.
Like this is insane. Even the passes were 470 to 480. Like if you could find a more even game, show it to me because that's pretty freaking wild.
But I forget who it was on Fulham. They have the ball kind of right outside the Newcastle 18, and they just fall. They just slip, and Almiron picks it up. He's on his way. He's sprinting down the field.
He's a good player, by the way.
Yeah. He has Wilson with him on his left, plays it through, and Anderson kind of has a hand on him.
Grabs his hand and then yanks his shirt a little bit.
And he goes down. He goes down slightly easy, I think. I think there's a pull,
right.
and then he goes down.
He
like a
felt
second
the pull
later.
and then thought, I should go down,
Yeah.
and then goes down.
Ref gives a penalty. It goes to VAR, of course. VAR's looking at it. When they slow it down, you're thinking, all right, maybe it's just outside. And mind you, this whole time, Anderson is already on a yellow, right? So you're thinking, okay, maybe he goes down just outside, or that's where the contact starts. It looks like it's on the line, so it's too close to overturn to not a penalty. Then VAR comes out and says, oh no, Anderson denied a very clear and obvious goal-scoring opportunity. He gets a red.
This is the most confusing thing I think I've seen all year, to be honest.
Now, and we'll talk about this in another game where this happened, but the ref goes to VAR, he looks at it,
Right.
He comes out, and he pulls a straight red to Anderson.
Correct.
He's already on a yellow. So normally at that point, the ref would pull out another yellow, right, and then throw him a red.
Right, so this is a straight red. He technically gets a straight red from the referee.
Yeah, so technically it's a straight red, and I think it's a 3-game ban?
That's one. Three is like if you have a
violent conduct.
violent conduct or something like that. Yeah.
So, Callum Wilson
like
steps up.
when Xhaka chokeslammed the guy.
Yes.
That was 3 games.
And what we're about to talk about in another red card that happened this week too. That should be 3 games. I'm gonna kick you in the kneecap.
Yeah, that one.
So Cal or stud in the ankle, whatever that was.
Just gonna cleat you in the knees.
So Callum Wilson steps up, slouts home the penalty kick to make it 1-1. And now Fulham are down to 10 men for the remainder of this game. So Fulham go to the FA,
Right.
and they put in a complaint.
They say
And they put an appeal to that red card. They look at it, and the FA is like, he was wrongfully sent off.
Yeah, because I think it's a independent review is what makes the decision, and not for nothing.
So his 1-game ban has been revoked.
I don't think this could make VAR look any worse, to be honest with you.
You
You literally have a system set in place in these games to make decisions that you can go back and look at and make sure you get them correct. And then after the game, the decision you made from the system to make sure it's correct gets overturned by an independent body looking at it. This is insane.
Figure it out, please.
Like there should be no need for an appeal process if VAR is working correctly.
Well, I think
Which clearly it's well, the problem with VAR is again there's still a human that has to look at it and
Still a
make a
judgment call.
decision. Yes, it helps that you can look at it again, but a human still has to make a judgment decision based on what he sees. And depending on who's in the booth that day, it's a totally different call.
And we talked about this before we started. We rewatched it. Excuse me. There was a point where I didn't think there was enough in it to be a yellow to begin with. I think it's a foul because he does pull him. I don't think it's a yellow. He's already on a yellow. I think you have to be somewhat lenient. Again, there was another defender there. I mean, Wilson would have got a shot away. It was an opportunity to score. I guess that's technically in the rule book, but it was a soft foul to begin with, I think, because, again, he feels the pull, and then he's like, oh, shit, I should go down now. So, in the beginning, I don't even think it's a yellow. You disagreed. You thought it was a yellow.
I think you just have to give at least a yellow. I mean, he yanks his shirt.
But here's my issue. VAR can't give out yellows.
I don't think.
We don't, as far as I know, the only time they can do anything with yellow cards is they can give a yellow, and if they look at it and say, oh, no, that's a red, then they take the yellow away.
They can also
and give
see
the red. But
they can also see if a yellow is given to the wrong person.
Yes, but the initial yellow came 20 minutes, 30 minutes before this yellow.
Well, that's
So
my
they
thing.
can't take that yet. So if anything here, I don't think it's a straight red. I think it's a yellow, a second yellow, then a red. But again, you can't review if it's a yellow.
It's just a weird and now that it's an independent review, they can't they said no, it's not a straight red, but Can they be like, oh, it should have been a yellow? It should have been gone anyway? Like, is that part of the process? Like, we don't know.
You can't. You can't.
You know what they should do?
You can't look at fouls.
They should
to make yellow cards. They should only be red cards.
They should really implement a system that you could like look back at things to make sure you get them right.
Oh shit, we have one of those.
That was sarcasm, by the way.
It doesn't work.
And if you guys didn't pick up on that, and if you did pick up on that, good on you.
But like Garrett said, this game.
Oh yeah, they convert the pen, by the way.
Yeah, we said that.
And this game ends 1-1.
But like Garrett said, you can't find a more even game.
That was
throughout the weekend.
Pretty crazy.
Moving on, we have Brighton and Sheffield.
Yeah, we do. You're not wrong.
Sheffield's confusing. They're bad, right?
They're just not good this year, unfortunately.
What was this red?
And this is crazy because you were saying how like if Sheffield scores the first goal in the game, like at least they have a chance of winning. And this time they tied. But hey, it's a point. I mean,
ended 1-1. I don't know if I mentioned that.
Oh yeah, it ends in 1. So they get a point. Yeah. Sheffield now has what, 2 points in the league? I think.
I believe so. I'll double check it.
Let me just make sure. They might have doubled their points in this game.
Oh nope, they have
2 points. All right, so they doubled their whole point total.
There was another red in this one. For the life of me, I can't remember what it was. The Lundstrom one.
Hold on, give us time.
For the life of me, I can't. We just watched these two.
What's that called when you're talking to
Lundstrom? It's so right before this.
You didn't answer my question.
What?
What's that thing?
Stalling?
No, it's like some of the V maybe.
A.
No, like when you're trying to pass, like when you're passing the time talking. Not stall. There's another word. I don't know. There's another word just for stalling. All right, you talk about the red card. I'm gonna look it up.
I remember this red card now. I remember it. Don't worry about it. So there was a hard challenge from the Sheffield player. I'm writing kind of on the sideline that wasn't called. Ball goes to the 50-50. What? He's looking it up.
I'm looking it up because it's like
it's not sabotage. Sorry, right now.
It's not. It's not.
So the ball's in the middle of the field. Lundstrom goes for the ball. It looks like he gets a piece of the ball. However, he goes and studs up. The follow through, he barely skims the ball. He gets the player's ankle and then straightens his leg. Like he meant to just go through the player. What, Garrett?
I was looking at the synonyms for the word stall, and apparently I'm on the wrong stall because I got stable and horse barn as my.
So yeah, this was
this podcast is in shambles.
With, I believe, or if it was a foul to begin with. There was no card given. They went to VAR. This is the one time VAR gets it right.
What is this word?
I would say the one time this weekend because they get it right. We're trying to run a show here, my friend.
There's only two of us, but you keep going. I'm gonna figure this out. It was
a red. He goes straight studs through the dude's ankle. They go to VAR. There's a red. He didn't even complain about it. He knew it. But yeah, I'm just what's the word I'm looking for? Not committed, intrigued. Now I'm
what, looking for this?
No, yeah, like I'm into it now. What's that word?
Invested?
Yeah, that's the word. Now I'm invested in this. I can't.
Dally, dwaddle, lag, loiter, cry.
There's no word for a V.
I'm giving up. I can't find it. If I hear a random word, I'm just gonna say it in the middle of whatever we're talking about. Okay, let's move on back to games.
So it's a red card.
Correct.
So then Brighton begin to get some chances, and then Danny Welbeck.
I wasn't listening to you. Did you talk about how it got reviewed?
Yes.
Okay.
That was the right call.
Yeah, I was very focused on what I was looking up there.
That's why I felt very weird just talking to the camera by myself. Because I was looking at the camera, couldn't look at you, had to look at someone.
No, because I honestly didn't. I had no shot. Knew what you were saying there. Not at all.
So Welbeck scores like the 83rd minute.
We are so professional. It's unreal.
Yeah. No,
Welbeck scores. Interesting goal here.
Yeah, he kind of goes up for it, and he kind of like takes one touch and then half volleys. It was weird how it happened. Yeah. But Danny Welbeck, another player, maybe Arsenal should have held on to.
Yeah, it's like the free kick got played, crossed it in, and then Welbeck with a good finish header, short range header.
Yeah.
He's actually found decent. Like he's not been great for them, but I mean, as far as Brighton striker goes, I mean he's not been bad.
I'm losing my mind.
Here's a picture of the guy heading the ball.
I'm losing my shit, people.
Yeah, you're thinking of the weird half volley from the other game that I can't think of right now.
We're having a shocker of performance today.
We'll get there. No, you're thinking of the goal from. Hold on. No. Burnley Wolves, I think it is. Burnley Wolves, I think, had the weird half volley.
Yeah.
On like the goal line, pretty much.
Yeah. Okay.
We're there. We were just 4 games off.
Yeah. So Sheffield have a man sent off. Game ends 1-1.
I think it's pretty much a surefire that Sheffield's getting relegated this year.
Yeah. I mean, Sheffield get a point. I mean, they're only. Actually, they're fucked.
Mm-hmm.
They're fucked.
They are 10 points out of relegation.
0-2 and 12. isn't good.
No, yeah, they're unless they have the most miracle turnaround I've ever seen in my life. There's no shot this year.
And you think Brighton, this is a game that they need to win because this result only puts them 2 points clear, with a Fulham tie as well.
Yeah.
If they won this game, they have a few more points. And they dominated possession in this game. They dominated the chances. I said they were up a man for the last 20 to 30 minutes.
Yeah.
So it's a game I think they have to win. Especially.
Wait, who'd you say was up a person? Brighton's up a person.
Brighton's up a man.
Yeah.
Anyway, both teams got a point. I'd say it's an important point for Sheffield, but it's not.
Hold on. Speaking of relegation, can we just talk about how Arsenal is 4 points above the relegation line?
That's fucking nuts.
That's insane.
That's nuts. No wonder Dan's quitting everything. So let's get back into some more games here. We'll go to Leicester.
Tottenham.
Leicester wins this one.
Okay, so I was going to point out how 2 weeks ago we talked about how Tottenham could be title favorites, and then they've lost 2 weeks in a row. So we really just put the curse on everyone.
And we talked about how I said Lampard was a very good manager this year in the EPL, and they lost, and they haven't performed.
No, they did one this week.
Well, the weeks after.
The weeks after we said that.
Jesus Christ.
So I mean, Leicester. This was a game we thought was going to be kind of funny because there were two teams that both sat back, waited to counter, and at one point in this game, watching it, it almost felt like there was no midfield. Like the ball was just never sticking in the midfield. It was like end-to-end, counter, sit, counter. And, I mean, Leicester sits deep, but Tottenham just sits deeper. Yeah. I mean, they take on pressure like no team I have ever seen before.
You know that your opponent is sitting deep when Tottenham has a majority of the possession. I mean, it wasn't that much more. They did have more of the possession in this game, so that's when Leicester's like, all right, let them have the ball.
It's just weird too because it seems like when they don't counter, they kind of get stuck on what to actually do going forward.
Yeah,
like they almost seem confused in possession at times. And we've talked about Højbjerg is a great defensive midfielder. Going forward, not great. He's not. He can play the easy pass, but he's not going to create anything for you. Like that's not his position, and that's not what he's there for. Yeah. He's there to solidify their backs, but he needed to be more in this game because he was on the ball a lot, and he just didn't have it, unfortunately for them.
But was it right at halftime? Right, yeah.
Yeah, it was the pen.
Yeah, Jamie Vardy steps up. There was a penalty. I mean, there was really no argument. Doesn't he just kind of run him over?
Yeah, pretty much. I forget who the player was from Leicester, but so it's Aurier is literally running to like the corner of the box, and the player from Leicester's facing the ball, about to chest it and bring it down, and Aurier just decides to run a train through this man and right through the back and hits him to the ground, and then goes, "What do you mean?" Yeah. Like, I don't think I've seen a more obvious foul this year.
Yeah. But when you have Jamie Vardy stepping up, I mean, chances are he's never going to miss a pen. And then he gets his second later on in this game. I think it was right after halftime.
Who?
Vardy? Well, he doesn't get his second. It winds up being an own goal.
Right. Okay, hold on. Because there's a point in this game that we have to talk about that we didn't.
What we missed?
So Madison scores a goal, I think in the 49th minute.
Yep.
And with my eyes, when I tell you, I was like, I think he's on. Like, I don't know. They put this thing down to, once again, the centimeter, and he is offsides. And I was like, what?
What was he offside?
Apparently, according to VAR, I think it was the lean again. And like, I hate the rule because of the lean. People are like, oh, but if you're offsides, you're offsides. I'm like, yeah, but like, who are you to say like they draw the line on like the shirt sleeve? So what? Should you wear like sleevelesses? Are you gonna get like? Should you wear cutoffs? Maybe less offsides against you because you can't draw a line on a shirt sleeve if there's no sleeve. That's what I'm saying. Like, do you just wear the shorts like up to here? It's a lot easier. Here to here to here to here. So
he's doing this to show off if you're watching it.
Here to here. No, it's but like that's what I hate. People are like, oh, it's black and white. I'm like, no, it's not black and white when you're measuring from the crease of a shirt. It's not black and white. Yeah. I'm sorry.
I mean, that's.
Bite me.
Yeah, I want to be one of those people who say it is if it's offsides, offsides. It's black and white. It's black and white.
No,
but there's got to be some leeway. There has to be. You can't go down this. There's a little string hanging off. They didn't sew it properly in the seam.
And now he's offsides.
Yeah,
and it ruined a pretty good goal, which is just annoying. So back to that, they win anyway. Goal. Like I think, like they said during the game, like you know what, if they don't win this game anyway, it's more of a talking point. But they win, so it doesn't matter as much.
Who plays this ball in? A very nice ball at the far post. I don't remember who plays this ball in.
I'm going to be wrong. Hold on.
Find it real quick.
I can. Here, just vamp.
Vamp?
That's
There's
the
no
word.
way that's a word.
I found it. Oh my god, I found it just talking.
That's not
Yo,
right.
hold up.
We're
Delay.
time out on the show.
Yeah,
We're
vamp.
vamping right
That's
now.
it. That's
We're
it.
vamping.
That's it. It's vamp.
Vamp
100%.
definition?
Yeah.
What?
Vamp. Hold on.
I don't know what you're on about.
No, it's vamp.
They're talking about music.
In slang. Oh, well, that's
No,
not. That's
no,
not
no,
it.
no. This is not a soccer show anymore if we start reading that.
No, it's
it's not-
100% vamp. No,
It's
that's
not-
how you
don't
say
look up
it.
Vamp. Don't look up vamp. Just don't look it up. It's
No,
not
but
it.
I don't
Guys,
care.
so-
But that's not what I'm like.
So-
But that's a thing people use. People say vamp like
Who
that.
uses that, Garrett?
Someone uses it. I'm about to call Dan, even though he's not on here right now. I'm like, yo, what does the word vamp mean to you?
Can you just tell me who played the fucking ball in? That's all I want to know, so we can get on with the show here, my guy. Albrighton, thank you. Albrighton plays in a ball. It's to the far post.
It's vamp.
I forget who's right on. Is it Sissoko who's right next to Vardy?
Yeah.
So he kind of has no angle to really head this at goal.
I mean, the chance of Vardy scoring this goal on his own were
Is not
slim.
He heads it back across, and Toby Alderweireld, I said it right. Don't come at me.
Comes in with a power thigh.
Yeah, he just if he's anywhere else in the field, this is bouncing right in front of Schmeichel, and he's picking it up and walking away.
I've never seen a more like bruh moment than looking at Lloris's face as this ball goes in. He was just like, "You
I said
gotta be
Schmeichel,
kidding
I'm
me!"
a fucking dumbass.
Yeah, it's Lloris.
Yeah.
It's fine. You also said Ederson's name completely wrong, so
Yeah,
that's fine too.
we're
And you're the goalkeeper guy. Like, what the fuck is this?
We're having a rough. I'm not a name guy though.
That's true.
Yeah,
That's not wrong.
But yeah, I mean, it's just so unlucky. If he, like I said, if he's anywhere else on the field in the 18, like if he's half a foot back, it doesn't hit him. And there's no other Leicester player there ready to tap this in. It's not like he has a guy charging behind him. He has to get something on to throw it off. He doesn't. But yeah, I mean, we mentioned Tottenham, how they're title contenders, and now.
And someone that we thought would help them this year was Bale, and he comes on at halftime, and he just pretty much was like a ghost in the second half of this game. So
I do recall way back when, before Bale came over to the Premier League.
yeah,
I think we were talking about how you believed if he came, he would really help them be title contenders, and I was the one that said no.
here's my issue. It's
I said no. I didn't believe it.
This is my problem with the whole Bale
Sam.
situation. You know what? If he was starting every game and wasn't doing anything, that's one thing. But he keeps getting put in these moments where they're already down, and then they're like, "Come on, be a superhero."
When did he come
and
on
it
this one?
just like I think he came on at halftime.
Okay.
So they're down 1-0. So it's like, you're putting a lot of pressure on him, like from a fan's point of view. It's like, oh, well, they put him on, they didn't do anything. Like, why don't you put him on when they're up 1-0, like one time? Like, give him a little bit more free space, where they're not trying to break a back 8 from Leicester. You know what I mean? It's just,
good point. You gotta see who they're playing too.
I mean, it's tough to put him on and keep saying, okay, save the game for us.
Yeah.
Like, that's a weird position to be put in as a player, and I'm sure he wants to play more. He's probably. I'm sure he's out golfing this weekend, but you get my point.
But with that loss, Tottenham now drop. I mean, they're still only 6 points out of the first, but they do drop out of top 5.
Leicester looking good.
6. Leicester's up to second. 4 points back of Liverpool right now. So 8. Can Leicester do it again?
Can they do it? No, probably not. No. But it'd be cool.
Yeah. Moving on.
Surely.
This is a good one.
Yeah, you can talk about it.
I thoroughly enjoyed this game.
I'm just gonna sit back and drink.
I don't be too bad.
What?
I won't be too bad with this one.
He's gonna talk for 45
I
minutes.
won't.
Just be prepared.
It's the Man U game against Leeds. They win 6-2.
By the way, if you were a betting person, betting the over in this game was the easiest bet of your entire life.
You could have bet the over
Heading
5.5. You could have took that one if you wanted to.
Yeah, like it was. This was a lock in the over.
Yeah. And I said coming into this, I expected this to be a high-scoring game. Two teams who struggle defensively but can go forward. I didn't expect it to be this one-sided.
I mean, Leeds could have scored, but the Man U also could have scored like 5 more times.
So just to preface it, the 6 goals that he let in doesn't take away from how good of a game.
You keep talking. I'm gonna make sure I hit the record button.
Are we not recording?
Well, no, we're recording the mics.
Oh, okay. My guy does that. Not to take away, the 6 goals go in, but I don't want to shut up. I don't want to take anything. You can't take too much away from the Leeds keeper. He made some great saves. Like Garrett said, we're filming. We are filming. Like Garrett said, we're not cutting any of this either. We don't do that.
Nope.
No, we don't do that here.
Nope.
This is all
You
raw.
get live and raw reactions here, boys and girls.
He lets in 6 goals, but it could have easily been 10.
Anything,
Yeah, it could be even 10. And also De Gea had one or two good saves in this one.
Oh, yeah.
But, the thing that stands out to me is Scott McTominay gets 2 goals in 3 minutes. He's the fastest player to ever score a brace from the start of a game.
This man turned into Pele for the first 3 minutes of this game. It's crazy.
He gets 2 goals. And when, like Garrett mentioned before, when a team lets in a goal in the first, 5 minutes, it's just so deflating. There's no getting back from that, let alone 2 goals. And then they get lucky. You get lucky on the, on their third and fifth goals. Bruno's goal, the third goal, it just falls to him, and nothing the keeper could do. He puts it far side, goalie's kind of screened, and then the fifth goal, through ball to James, no angle, shoots it at the keeper, goes through his legs. The Lindelof goal, no marking, and then a Bruno pen to close it out. But honestly, after all these goals, I mean, the first Scott McTominay goal, ball gets played back, kind of outside of the foot, low, bending away, side netting.
Oh, yeah, that was nice.
Great finish, but the best goal of the game was Stuart Dallas.
Oh, that was
he's 25 out, and he just finesses one to the top right corner. I think De Gea gets a fingertip on it.
Still beauty.
Yeah, beautiful goal. I mean, as a United fan, this is a game that you're gonna. I thought they needed to win. I thought they should win. It's nice to see. I think they said United have the most different goal scorers in the Premier League on a team, which is nice. I think they're like 16 players now have scored for them in the Premier League, which is nice to see. I saw the lineup. I still don't love Fred. I don't know why.
I don't think anyone really loves Fred. Let's be honest.
Shaw gets his spot back at left back. Mamasaka's been a mainstay now at right back. But, United with this win, they're up to second with the game in hand. How many points back are they from Liverpool? 4. And they have a game in hand. I'm sorry, not 4.
You should have been second, third.
They're in third. Sorry. I'm losing my mind. They mentioned this.
Stop lying to everyone. Shut up.
They mentioned this the other day on.
Vamping.
I'm not vamping. That's not even a word.
Yes, it is.
Doesn't mean what you think it means.
No, it does.
They mentioned this the other day on Premier League, the Premier League show before the post-game show. They asked who they thought would be title contenders. I think even Gary Neville came out and said it's still not United.
No. No shot.
If they said now, if they start doing this consistently, if they can start playing more consistent, because you see a game like this where offensively they do everything right.
Well, this is the first game in weeks that they've actually come out in the first half and played well?
Yes, exactly.
Right.
But you see games like this where, you see sparks like this where they could do this. You saw that one game earlier, the 5-0 win against Red Bull Leipzig in the Champions League, which now went well. We suck.
Yeah.
But if they can just come out and do that more consistently, yes, they're a title contending team. But until then, I mean, okay, cool, you guys scored 6 goals, but you also let in 2 goals. One was an absolute piss missile.
Oh, yeah, nice goal.
The other one, Fred couldn't defend in the corner.
And there was chances, because Jack Harrison had a chance at the end of this game.
Yeah, he made a great save.
No, he missed. It was dummy, back post Jack Harrison with literally a gaping, wide open net, and he put it wide.
I think it was the end of the first half. It was in the first half then. There was a chance that they probably should have scored, and De Gea got a foot to it, and it was beautiful.
Do you want to know why I remember the Jack Harrison goal?
Why? You were screaming today?
Nope. Because I had a bet in this game, right? Here we go. I had a bet that Leeds needed 4 shots on goal, and they had 3. And
that's when I did it?
When I'm telling you, I'm watching this going, come on, it's like the 88th minute, like no shot. And they bring the ball up the field. They have a nice passage. Ball gets crossed in.
My app says they have 4 shots on goal.
I don't think they did.
My app.
Or maybe I had 5 then. I had 1 less than whatever it was. So I'm like, oh, the dummy. I'm like, oh, no, shoot. Oh, no, okay, they dummy. The next guy dummy. So I'm like, this man is wide open. Like, this is my time to shine. I'm like, best case, they score. Worst case, it's at least on net. And this man hits it 18 feet wide. I'm like, are you kidding me? I've never been more mad. I almost broke my remote.
That would have been hilarious.
For the television.
I would have needed a...
And, like, at that point, like, no one else cared. Everyone was like, oh, it's 6-2. You can give a shit. I'm like, I give a shit.
But,
so much pain.
But, like, just to finish off this game. Spain. Oh, Dan, it was pain. I don't know.
Spain without the S. That's all I know.
Shut up.
Pain.
But like I said, I Do you think United will fight for at least the top 6 this year?
If they don't, they should fight for Champions League.
They should be fighting for Champions League. I think realistically they get 4th. Realistically, if they get 3rd, that's phenomenal.
And realistically, Arsenal gets 17.
I see them in 4th. So if they start getting more consistent, especially in the back, maybe they have a chance to maybe get 2nd or 3rd. But I don't know.
Just messed up my hat.
It was a nice little, hey, had a fun day. I had fun.
Okay, West Brom Villa next game.
Okay,
this was the wonderful game. So we talked about last week how El Ghazi maybe had the worst game of his entire career, and the score is an early goal. So I'm sure confidence-wise, shout out to the manager of Villa, who I can't think off the top of my head right now. Shout out to the manager of Villa for playing him again, because he pretty much had a disaster class of performance.
Yeah.
And they stick with him, and he scores a nice early goal. I mean, it's a weird goal. It's like a ball at the back post that somehow sneaks through. But he's there.
I don't know how he hits down, and it somehow just gets in, right?
Smith, by the way, is the manager.
Oh.
I couldn't think of it.
This goal where he kind of hits it down, and it just kind of
I don't think he had. I think it was like a back post, and it's like a half volley. It's just like a weird.
Oh, it was that one. There's another one with the head down. Yeah. That was one of the other games.
Let me make sure. I'm pretty sure. I think it's like a back post. He runs to the back post.
I'm thinking of the Wolves Burnley game. The Burnley.
Yeah, he just hits like a half volley at the back post.
This is the half volley goal.
Yeah, right here. Yeah. I thought so. Don't make me think I'm wrong.
Nah, you're never wrong.
I know. I'm
but yeah, for him, after the amount of shots he had alone, I think he had 10.
I think he legitimately actually had 8 chances at the goal last week and did not get any one on net and missed 7. It was insane.
For him to score 5 minutes in, I mean, it got to be a huge boost of confidence for him, like you said.
And he's getting consistent time, too, so, I mean, that's good for him.
And then nothing really, then something happens in the 37th minute.
I mean, I guess, I shouldn't go back to El Ghazi. I guess the thought, if you're a manager there, is, you know what? He has to be doing something right to be getting into these positions.
Exactly.
He just needs to do better. It's only a matter of time. Right. I mean, to get 8 chances, you have to be in the right position. You have to be anticipating the ball well to have these chances. So, eventually, they have to go in.
He scores again on this one. Before we get to that, because it kind of goes back to your point of good on the manager for playing him.
Yeah.
He does score again, and it's a penalty. And just get out of the way now. Good for his teammates at this point, and the other,
Well, he did take their last pen too, so I think he somehow has that.
But you got to think, maybe some of the players may go up to him and have a word with him, hey, listen, maybe I should take this one. Hey, can I take? Because he's been struggling, but good on him for getting that, for wanting to take it, having the confidence, and his teammates not getting in the way of it, and he does score it.
I just think it's funny that Grealish doesn't take PKs. He's players that are usually more a little cocky, a little arrogant, a little more confident are usually the penalty takers, and he Watkins started taking them, he missed. Now it's all it's weird that he's not even
hurt.
Well, yeah,
from what Livermore did to him.
That's not why, but it's still pretty funny.
So yeah, in the 37th minute,
not funny. You get what the joke we made was funny, not the challenge on his leg.
Hilarious over here. Challenge on the sideline. Originally it was a yellow. Livermore goes in.
It's not a yellow.
He puts his stud halfway up his leg.
He hits him in the, literally above the shin.
It's just below the knee.
Just a wild challenge.
Studs up, and he knew what he was doing.
He was mad because he got tugged a minute before by one of the Villa players and didn't get a call, and then was like, I'm going to do karate kick Grealish right in the calf.
Pretty much.
I mean, not the calf, the shin.
Yeah, so this goes to VAR for serious foul play.
And he knew.
He knew. The ref goes over. He looks at it. He realizes, okay, straight red. He pulls the yellow out of his pocket. Does one of the, nope, not a yellow. Goes straight for the red. Get off the field. And like I said, Livermore.
His reaction was priceless.
One player put his hands up, what are you talking about?
That was Gallagher, I think.
Yeah, Livermore just takes off the captain's man. And as the ref gives him the red, he's taking this thing off and already putting it on somebody else. I'm out of here.
He knew. I mean,
I'm done.
It was a moment of frustration that I think they called him, and then he just played a stupid challenge.
Yeah,
very Arsenal of him.
Very Arsenal of him.
So Traore scores a goal.
Oh my god!
And this was probably one of the funniest goals of the year. He's just kind of dribbling, cuts through the defenders, and he's just in the box and just goes, I'm just gonna pass it back post, across the play, and
he's fooled the keeper.
He doesn't everyone.
He was frozen.
Yeah,
this was one of the slowest goals.
It was a
shots
sneaky
I've
shot.
ever seen in my life.
Wild.
It was pretty much like he was just, like you said, just passing the ball to a teammate. Just nobody moved.
And Johnson was like, what?
Nobody moved.
And just went in. So sure, that's pretty cool.
I think that was his first Premier League goal as well this weekend. He was one of the other players.
I could be wrong. Yeah, I'm not sure.
He was one of the other
You
players.
say it, I'm sure it's wrong.
It's fuck off. Okay. But yeah, then we mentioned the penalty after that. Oh god, he converts 3-0 to Villa, who playing
Decent.
pretty well.
They couldn't score last week, but I mean, they're still a good team.
But like I said,
they're a mid-table team.
They can't score last week, but
9 or 8 maybe.
That a team like you figure. All right, you're playing West Brom, right? Pretty crappy team. You beat them, fairly easy 3-0.
Pretty crappy team. That's City
and then
couldn't beat.
They played what, Burnley last week?
Who? Villa?
Yeah,
I think so.
Again, a team who's now finding a little bit of a form, but they had. Oh my god!
They tied Burnley. That was when El Ghazi scored.
But they had like 90 shots that game.
Yeah.
100%. So Villa's going forward. They look pretty threatening at the moment. I mean, they're not converting all their chances, but at least they're getting them.
Anytime you have Grealish on the field, you're gonna be threatening.
Yeah. And El Ghazi because he's the net.
Sometimes.
Moving on.
Yes.
This is 2 Wednesday. These are Monday games.
Yeah, these are Monday games.
We're filming this on a Tuesday.
As we all expected, Burnley beats Wolves.
What the fuck is going on? Dude, they're out of relegation zone.
You know why? It's because you gave shit to Burnley, and we said something on this podcast, and now they decided,
fuck you, Burnley.
You know what we're going to do? We're going to win all the games now.
You'll blow it.
Fun for you.
I know you will.
I think the relegation, that could be what we talk about today. What teams are going to get relegated?
I'll talk about that later.
Yeah, that's a good talk.
Yeah, but Burnley, what the fuck are they doing? They're just winning. Or not even just getting points.
Yeah.
Against teams who you figure Wolves, I mean,
Wolves who just shocked Chelsea last week.
You're thinking, all right, Wolves are going to go walk into Burnley and just beat the ever-living shit out of them.
I mean, the Wolves ain't that good, but they ain't that bad either.
They'd kill Burnley.
Well, it's pretty much
Chelsea.
An argument for every week, pretty much. But Burnley plays good. Like let's give them the due credit. I mean, they don't. We've pretty much Burnley has decided. You know what we're gonna do? We're just gonna be a threat in the air. We're just gonna play as many balls as humanly possible in the box, and we're just gonna be bigger and stronger than you are and try to score when we get possession.
This was the game where I believe the first goal, it was a ball to the far post and it was headed straight down.
Yeah, I think so.
It was kind of straight down at the far post, and it just bounced on the goal line. Like only the keeper was ready for it. He was kind of caught on his line. Defender was there in the way, so the keeper really couldn't see much, and it just kind of found its way to the net. Yeah, like it says it just sneaks near post.
It was one of those where you see live, and you're like, "How does that actually go in?"
Yeah,
and we're like, "Oh, there's 2 Wolves defenders. Patricio's there. It just finds its way in the net."
It was Barnes, right?
And Barnes was stoked for this goal, by the way.
Fire the fuck up.
I mean, I don't think Burnley's had a lot to celebrate this year, so probably why. But I mean, he was pretty pumped. It was a good goal. Like I said, they're going to beat you in the air. That's how they're going to score on you. There's no other way.
Yeah. And then Chris Wood gets one as well.
This is the goal you thought about before, when you said the weird volley.
Yeah, the weird half volley just kind of
bounces around the box.
Another ball just kind of bouncing in the box. It came off a ball in the air, and Burnley on set pieces. Like you said, that's their plan.
Yeah,
just to get balls into the box, set pieces, long balls, whatever it may be. Just put them in the box. No one got in the end of this, and he just put his foot through a bouncing ball, and Wolves didn't want the ball. They didn't want to be the first one to it in their own 18.
No, and then again, this is another a Traore this year. I feel like it's been another player where they're like, you know what, we're not playing well. Go in and try to save the game.
As we're 2-0 down.
Right, it's just a stupid time to put obviously you need to make changes to make the game. I get that, but he was a player that performed so well for you guys last year, and after the break, I don't care if it's a stamina issue. You're telling me he can't run. If then play him 60 and sub him for the last 30.
Yeah.
I
get him at least.
I understand he's a change of pace player, and I'm sure a tired back isn't going to want to face him. But you're down 2-0. He's not a miracle worker, and he hasn't played particularly great. But maybe because he's only playing in 30-minute spells every time. He started a couple games because of injury, but that's really it.
Yeah. I lied to you, by the way. Fabio Silva was the other guy who got his first.
So who did we give that to last time? Who did we lie about?
The other Traore.
Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah. So we lied. Brian's a liar. I told you he was fucking wrong.
I know for a fact Fabio Silva got his first Premier League goal.
I hope this says you're wrong just for some reason.
I know that. I know it's his first Premier League goal.
Be wrong.
For a fact. Be wrong. His first ever Premier League goal.
Wrong. Doesn't say. Damn it.
No, yeah, click his name.
Here?
Yeah, sure.
Click him.
It has to be.
I'm just Google searching him. That's not it.
It has to be him.
We broke a Ronaldo record.
Scroll down. It has to be him.
What do you want to
scroll down? It'll be him.
Guys, vibe with us here for a minute.
It's gotta be him.
He was the youngest ever goal scorer. Wolves' youngest ever goal scorer in the Premier League.
But it was his first Premier League goal.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, okay, let's think about the stat we just read. If he's Wolves' youngest goal scorer...
So I was right, is what I'm getting. The only thing I'm getting at is I was right.
Right, but the fact that it took you so long to figure that after I read that sentence is a little worrisome for me.
I knew I was right before we even read the sentence.
But you did it, because that's why we looked and clicked this link.
Yes, I was right.
But
no, that's not why we clicked the link. I was trying to prove a point to you.
Hear me out, though. But, like, I said he was the Wolves' youngest ever goal scorer, and you're like, what? Like, it had to be his first goal. I'm like, yeah, because if not, he would have already had been Wolves' youngest goal scorer.
I was right.
You're right, but, like, you didn't know.
I did know. I heard them say it on
I read that sentence, and you looked at me like, does that mean I'm right?
I heard them say it on the broadcast.
You need to whisper more. You sounded blurry.
I heard them say it on the broadcast.
That's better.
This game ended 2-1. Burnley won.
Stop whispering now. You're just creeping people out.
Yeah, sure.
By the way, he's like 17. That's pretty wild.
Is he really?
18. 17 or 18.
Good for him.
He is
17.
18. That's pretty solid. Damn. Pretty wild.
I guess. And 155 days. We done with this game?
Yeah, sure. Go Burnley. Okay.
Fuck you, Burnley. All right.
Nope, go Burnley.
Final game of this game week, match day, whatever you want to call it.
Another unfortunate
Chelsea,
result.
3. West Ham, zilch.
West Ham, again, we're sorry because last week we talked about how you guys are in every game you play. You're a hard-fought team, and then you lose 3-0.
The only team that we don't jinx is Arsenal because we talk how bad they are, and they still lose. Every team we say, these guys are good, these guys are bad, and they do the opposite the next week.
You know what, Arsenal, shout out to you for making it seem like we still know what we're talking about because you guys consistently just suck every week, and we are here for it. So thank you, Arsenal.
All right, so before this game really even gets going, just right before the first goal, Chilwell goes down with an injury. Again, he's one of the best backs in the league this year.
And James doesn't start this, so they're already without one of their starting backs.
Yeah, so he goes down.
Well, he got hurt, by the way, James.
Hopefully he's back soon. I don't know how serious it is. I haven't looked too much into it.
Didn't look great, but
then a minute later, Thiago Silva.
Great header. I mean, this man literally could have set up a tent in the box. That's how much space he had.
Yeah. But good finish with the head.
Great finish.
Yeah. And then a player, going forward for Chelsea, we haven't really heard anything about. Gets 2 goals in 2 minutes. Abraham. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, this is kind of one of those where, like, he was in the right spot at the right time. I mean, the first goal, you could make the argument that Werner was trying to shoot this and just kind of hit it weird.
Yeah.
And Abraham gets what's maybe a microfiber of his cleat on this ball.
Yeah. And
to push it past the keeper.
You know how much of a shank shot this was? Because the time this got to Abraham, there was no defenders within 10 yards of him. And they all, he has to be offsides. But the shot just came in that slow.
Yeah, it was just a weird ball.
He just kind of ran onto it and just pretty much stood at the top of the 6 and waited for this thing to get to him.
And the sad part about this score line is West Ham actually played pretty good. Chelsea controlled the first 15 minutes, and then West Ham had a good spell of 20, 25 minutes where they were creating chances, they were attacking the wings, they had some balls played in the box, they had a couple chances, but they couldn't get anything on target, first of all. And then Chelsea kind of was just sat back in the game, recomposed themselves, scored too late, and pretty much put this one to bed by the 80th.
Yeah, again, another time where we say, all right, Chelsea's not playing well, West Ham's playing well, and then flip-flop.
That's this year in a nutshell, though. The only team that's been consistent, I guess you could say, is Liverpool, besides the 7-2 thrashing from Villa. But, I mean, every other team has had just weird just weird games. It's just, there's no way to get, you show me one person that guesses every result for these upcoming weekends.
You're out of your mind.
It's just wrong. There's no shot.
If you do that, you're from the future, and tell me your picks for any money. I'm just going through the table real quick. Because you said that Leicester the only team with no ties. Just, yeah.
Yeah, I saw that.
But that kind of wraps up game week, match week 14. What do you want to call it?
Yeah.
Quick rundown of
next week's games.
15.
Let's get it. You want to start because it's your team?
Yeah, I'll start. Boxing Day.
Ooh, I'm about to sit with a nice cup of coffee, chilling
all day,
watching some great games.
And then once the coffee runs out, some pints.
Well, right. Yeah.
All goddamn day.
Yeah. I might drink at 8 a.m. It's fine.
Yeah, we're going to kick it off at the early game on Boxing Day. Leicester hosting Man United. The form Leicester's been in, I think they win this game. I mean, Man U, yes, they looked pretty threatening going forward. Bruno has changed the team entirely from an attacking standpoint. I think this is going to be 2-0 Leicester. United get 1, start to press. Leicester get a third, ends 3-1.
Who do you have winning?
Leicester.
Holy shit.
It's going to be 2-0. United get 1. They start pressing. Leicester counter. 3-1 Leicester.
I mean, okay.
You get 2.
Fulham, Southampton. Fulham, like we said, has been playing pretty well. They had a mixed result this past week, but Southampton's going forward, I think, is way too good. Southampton, even though they're being highly rated, is still the most underrated team in the Premier League. I think they win this one.
Crystal Palace at Aston Villa. Palace need to bounce back after getting their asses handed to them by Liverpool.
On the plus side, you probably can't lose by more. So.
Yeah. Villa, coming off a 3-0 win. I just don't see Palace bouncing back that quick. I don't think they get their asses kicked. I think it's gonna be a close game, but I think Villa win this game.
All right, so Arsenal, Chelsea, huh? Dan, what do you think? We fucking suck. Good job, Dan.
5-0 Chelsea. You're right. It's probably going to be 5-0 Chelsea.
This is a game where, especially without Aubameyang, I don't see Arsenal having.
Is he definitely out?
What?
Is he definitely out?
It didn't seem great.
Okay.
He didn't play today either in the Carabao Cup game against City.
Yikers.
So I don't think he's going to be healthy. I mean, it'd be kind of shocking if he is. But so Arsenal, Chelsea. I think Chelsea wins this one. Maybe not handily. Probably handily. I'm going to say like 3-0, honestly. I think Chelsea is just a much overall better team.
Yeah. All right, I'll skip that one for you. There's 2 threes. We'll do Everton at Sheffield. Everton coming off another win. Sheffield coming off, surprisingly.
It was a big week for Sheffield. They doubled their whole points.
Yeah. I mean, I think Everton...
LOLZ.
Yeah, I mean, Everton win this game. Easily. Nothing else to say. They win.
Yeah, okay.
Garrett.
City, Newcastle. Man City's going to have 27 shots, 8 on goal, and score 1 and win 1-0.
Okay.
Yep.
All right.
Quote that now because I'm telling you it's going to happen. Unless Aguero plays, then we score more than 1.
Yeah. All right, on to Sunday's games. You know what? The early game on Sunday kind of intrigues me in a weird way. Because Leeds have proven throughout the year they can go forward, but they can't defend.
Clearly.
And Burnley are starting to get something going.
Did Brian just praise Burnley? The shit.
I know. It's weird. Fuck you, Burnley.
Hell freezing over?
Fuck. I think Burnley win.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I think Burnley win. Yeah.
Damn.
I think Leeds dominate the game. I think Burnley get 1 or 2 chances and they somehow put them away and win. Yeah. Shit. I get it.
Wow. All right. What am I? West Ham, Brighton?
Yeah.
West Ham, Brighton. I'm never going to pick Brighton until they bring back Glenn Murray. So West Ham wins. I think the West Ham's also a much better team, and I think they have way more dangerous players going forward. So yeah, West Ham wins that one.
All right. Probably the closest game this week: Liverpool and West Brom. West Brom, probably keeps one close. I think maybe win. Liverpool's gonna win by 5, guys. I'm joking. They're gonna kick the shit out of them. That's it.
Okay. Now, and the last game of the week,
finish it up.
Wolves Tottenham. I'm gonna do the one thing we haven't done yet and pick a tie. I think Tottenham is just falling in shambles at this point.
I can see it.
And I think Wolves, although had a bad result this past week, is still a good enough team to put up against any decent competition. So I think it's going to be a tie. I just have a weird feeling.
How far are we in this episode?
I think we're like an hour and 10 or some shit. Hour and 7.
Shit.
Yeah. There we go. Yeah, this might be a short one. There's only 2 of us.
We'll wrap it up with this. We're gonna run through the table. We'll run through the table real quick. We'll do the top 6. Liverpool, Leicester, United, Everton, Chelsea, and Tottenham. With Southampton not too far behind 7th, and then City in 8th. I said top 6. Fuck you. I'm changing it. And then we'll do the bottom. Fulham, West Brom, and Sheffield in relegation zone. And Garrett mentioned before, we're going to touch on this right quickly. As right now, the way things are going, who goes down? Who are your 3 to go down?
Okay, well, the obvious is Sheffield.
Yes.
I'm going to say West Brom. I don't think Fulham goes down. I think they've actually shown they can be a quality team this year.
Okay. That leaves the only teams in that mix really are Brighton, Burnley, and Arsenal, I guess. Those are the teams that are less than 5 away.
I think that's a tough. Let me think about this. I think definitely Sheffield, definitely West Brom. I don't think Fulham drops. I think there's too much talent on the team for them to drop this year, even though they haven't gotten the results this year. I think Brighton.
I was going to say that, but I feel like they have some good players on that team. Lamptey's not bad. Malpai's not bad. Sully March isn't bad. I feel like they have quality. They just have to get it together again. And the thing is, I want to save Burnley because, one, fuck you, Burnley. But the other issue with that is they're starting to find something. And the only other team that is in there is Arsenal.
Right, is
there's
Arsenal.
no goddamn way. There's no way they go down, right?
They
It can't happen.
They can't.
cannot happen.
There's no shot.
If Arsenal go down, have they ever gone down
I doubt it.
in the
Hold on.
history of their team? Have they been?
Have not been relegated since they last entered
In
the top flight
1919.
in 1919.
Hey, 2020 is a weird year, man.
2021. It was 2021.
but-
It's crazy because like I think Fulham, Brighton, and Burnley, although where they are in the table, have actually it's going to be a fight. I think between the I don't
many
think West
games
Brom
left?
or
How many
Sheffield
games
have
left?
it. A bunch.
I think Leeds go down.
You think?
Yeah.
I
I think the style they play of just attack, and their defense sucks is going to catch up to them, and teams are like United did, and they're just going to bury them. I do think it's going to be Sheffield, West Brom, and I think Leeds slip and go down.
Wow. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I still think Brighton. I don't know why I have a weird feeling Burnley's going to have a good run of results here after
They're
win,
starting
but-
to get going. But yeah, I mean I think Leeds slips up and goes down.
Yeah, like you said, Brighton has talent. They
the issue.
just
They
can't
don't
get a
it
result.
going. I know. I don't know.
That'd be interesting. That's
Yeah.
going to be a hell of a watch. I think the Champions League positions and the relegation.
So
battle
we're what?
is
We're
gonna be
14 games in. Some teams 13. I think once we get to the 20 game mark.
And Burnley's also one of those teams who only has 13 games, by the way.
Once we get to that 20 game mark, I think we'll really know. Like that'll really. It's either going to get much closer or you're going to start to see a separation.
Listen, if one thing we can all agree on is that Sheffield's getting relegated.
So far down, they might just not even go to the champions.
Totally good.
Yeah, they're going to go straight after the champions.
I think they said this is the second
so fucking bad.
least amount of points a team's ever had at this point in the season or
they're
something. It's wild.
Anyway, that'll wrap us up. There's one thing I want to touch on. I know Premier League and Pints, but this is a
Speaking
soccer
of raps,
show.
I like Caesar raps.
Shut up. This is a soccer show,
No.
and we're going to talk about one of the best players in the world really quick. Probably the best player in the world. Depends what side you're
How are
on.
we talking
Depends
about?
what side you're on. If you're on a Ronaldo or Messi train.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Today, Messi scores his 644th goal for Barcelona. That breaks Pele's record for the most goals at a single club.
And we'll never see it ever again because no player's
No
ever
player
going to
will
be that
ever
loyal.
do that again.
No.
You know what? That's awesome. I mean, there's always the battle between, Ronaldo's better, Messi's better. I've always been someone, I feel like I like Ronaldo more just because he was a United player. But I think they're kind of on the same level. If anything, I do think maybe Messi's better. But either way, it's crazy to watch him.
It's just a record that he
watching a
has
legend play.
that
It's nuts.
it's never going to be broken because
Yeah.
there's no loyalty really anymore for players of that caliber. I
Yeah.
feel like you just don't see it as much.
And to break a record
And
like
you also have to be consistently playing that well for
Yeah.
so long.
and to
It's
break
impossible.
a record like from a player like Pele,
Yeah, you're doing something right.
potentially one of the, if not the best player to ever play the game. So good for him. I thought I'd throw that out there. I know, said Premier League show, but when you have a player like that doing something incredible, you have to mention it.
Yeah, stupid ball keeps flipping sides on me.
Anyway,
Speaking of the balls on our head,
what's up, TikTok? That's going on there for sure.
that was such a bad
That's
segue.
going on there for sure.
Oh
Holy
wow, that was a
shit.
terrible segue. Wow,
Anyway.
I can't believe I just said that. That was awful.
gonna be recorded forever.
You know how we said we never crop things? I might have cropped that.
cropping that.
Now it's way too much work,
So
actually.
I upload the audio.
Yeah, I'm never cropping that. That was...
Wow,
Wow, I can't believe I just said those words.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, that's going to do it for us. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you for listening, watching, YouTube, whatever podcast app you listen on. Social medias are at League Pints. Speaking of social medias, TikTok. You guys have been crushing it with the follows, the views, the likes. A lot of you guys are replying to us, commenting at us, what you like, what you don't like. If we're wrong, we're right, giving your input.
Yeah, so basically what we want to say is you guys are awesome. We're almost at 1,900 followers. You guys are incredible. And it's the holiday season, so happy holidays, Merry Christmas to whatever you celebrate. We hope you guys have an awesome time. and we're here to watch some games. We can't wait for it. So
Enjoy your holiday.
Enjoy your holidays.
Have a good Boxing Day. Probably my favorite day of the year.
You guys are awesome.
See ya.